It has been said that necessity is the mother of invention, and at the Orange National Field Days this year, there was no exception. This rather awkward-looking implement, designed and built by Mr. W. O'Brien of Bega, has been constructed solely for the job of detasseling maize crops. The operators stand on the platform and remove the tassels from the plants. The rotary hoe engine used for the drive is controlled from the steering position. Where the crop is grown on undulating ground, the machine can be levelled by one of the operators using this screw, which incidentally came from an old cheese press. This attachment allows for added stability and safety. The machine, with 5 men aboard, is capable of covering 4 rows of maize in one run. Mr. O'Brien has set his mind to work and has come up with a machine which, although looking ungainly, does the job adequately. Grazier inventor Alan Clough has designed a unique means of determining the gross weight of wool in a bale at any stage of the pressing operation. The bale weight indicator is simple to operate, does not interfere with normal pressing operations, and requires no structural alterations to the press. On Mr. Clough's property, the guesswork of pressing is eliminated with his indicator. Perhaps the most striking feature of the bale weight indicator are its simplicity and its extreme portability. Mr. R. Hilsden of Bellingen has developed this Roto cedar for the accurate dispersal of seed and fertiliser in band sowing techniques. In practice, the machine has shown a potential for row crops. The machine fully prepares its own narrow band seed bed in the pasture or paddock into which are placed the seed and fertiliser. The band is packed down by the trailing press wheel and thus form an ideal seed bed for germination to a depth of 3.5 inches. The seed and fertiliser boxes are easily accessible and adequate for most crops. Clear plastic tubes convey the seed and fertiliser from the boxes to the rotor mechanism. The rotor units are very similar to a rotary hoe blade and are driven independently to the cedar. The rotor units are driven by hydraulic motors which are powered by a hydraulic pump on the machine. The hydraulic pump is in turn driven by the tractor's power takeoff. The hydraulic drive allows for totally independent vertical and lateral movement of each rotor. The ability to move vertically is exploited by a stump jump action in the design to prevent possible rotor damage. The seed and fertiliser mechanisms are driven by a chain drive. Mr. Hilton's machine allows for the preparation of band seed beds for a maximum response from new sowings in existing pastures. Mr. Jerry Hartridge, a Western Districts grazier, was expending a lot of energy pounding iron fence droppers into the ground. He got to work and designed and constructed a post driver using compressed air from a small farm compressor. The compressed air lifts the driver, a valve cuts in, and the driver goes down onto the post. Mr. Hartridge claims that this allows his fencer to go on to other work nearby while the driver does the hard work. When the post is driven, simply remove the driver and reload with the next dropper. The use of weedicides in orchards for the control of under-tree growth is becoming widely used throughout our orcharding districts. Orange District orchardist David Pearce has designed and constructed an under-tree sprayer which allows him to control the weed growth immediately under the tree where there is a danger of tree damage if using cultivators or mowers. The modern-day weedicides do an effective job, but there is a danger of damage to the tree foliage or even the death of the tree. In order to eliminate the chance of damage, the spray unit has been front-mounted with the axis of the spray arm in the centre of the tractor axle, so there's a minimum of movement on rough or uneven surfaces. The spray rod and the nozzles can be adjusted independently for the various types of tree foliage. The special nozzle throws the spray down one side and out the other. Later, David Pearce hopes to add another unit, which will then cover the growth on both sides. Mr. Erwin Thorncraft, a grazier from the Orange District, entered the National Field Days Practical Award section in 1962 with a head bale. In 1964, he had designed and entered a complete cattle crush, and in that year won the Practical Aids Award. This has led to another business for him. In his workshop, Mr. Thorncraft has had almost a full-time job since 1962, making orders for his bale and crush along with other equipment. He has now been manufacturing well over 100 crushers per year, and this has led to the employment of a full-time assistant. All equipment is given a thorough test before being dispatched to the purchaser to ensure a high-quality product. In practice, the bale and crush are extremely efficient, holding the beast firmly. The crush is designed to hold the beast steady, and gates at the side allow access to any part of the animal for inoculation, blood testing or pregnancy testing. The side between the gates moves freely, either forwards or backwards, to give easy access. Mr. Thorncraft has designed the crush and bale to suit his own requirements on the property, and judging by sales, it suits a great number of properties. The bale release mechanism is simple to operate, and there's little danger of injury to either the animal or the operator. Included in Mr. Thorncraft's achievements is a portable adjustable sheep race, which can be used in conjunction with portable or permanent yards on a property. The whole idea of the race is to adjust it to the type of sheep being handled, whether they be full-wooled wethers or weaner lambs, and the type of job being done. The free-moving side is held by a ratchet. The gates on either end of the race are a feature, as they must alter with the width of the race. Portable yard sections for lamb marking or inspections are another idea of Mr. Thorncraft's. These sections can be assembled by one person, just placing an iron dropper between the sections. If the yard is round, Mr. Thorncraft says that they will support each other. And if it's portable cattle yards that are needed, it's just a matter of adding another section to the top. Well, this is the type of business that farmer inventions can lead to with a little thought, care and ability. It's necessity that's the mother of invention.